Hi, my name's Steven. I'm the little brother.
My name's Kevin. I'm the middle brother.
My name's David. I'm the biggest of all the brothers.
This is the Brothers Born podcast. The three of us don't see each other very often, so we decided that this is how we're going to hang out. We hope that y'all like listening. All right, talk to you soon. All right, here we go. So we're going to talk today a little bit about the top 3 useful Avengers and the top 3 useless Avengers. So let's just kind of go around and see what your thoughts are. Everyone's kind of submit one, the most useful Avenger. Okay, I'll go first.
Go for it.
Thor. He's got the God of Thunder powers. He's really powerful, but he's not like crazy OP. He's just good. He's got like he's strong enough to be a good hero, but not strong. So strong.
I don't know that he's necessarily that useful. I think you just really like Thor. I mean, I don't blame you. He's sexy.
Dude, have you seen Infinity War when he had the big hammer? And if he would have, he was the only one who had the power to take down Thanos, dude. But he went for the wrong body part. No one else could handle Thanos, but that windbreaker.
Yeah,
Your boy Captain America can use Thor's hammer.
Well, yeah, but
and so can the Vision.
But they can't use Stormbreaker though. I don't think. Maybe.
I don't. Well, even if they could, what did Thanos already do to Vision? And he didn't do that to Thor. Of course, Thor wasn't in the battle. He was like far away until that very scene that he came down. But
he lobotomized that.
Thanos took care of Vision twice, dude. He took care of him around time. Took care of him again. I don't know.
Thor's my pick. David?
So that's your pick for useful? Like he's a useful one?
Yes, most useful. Because he has he's not even just an Earth hero. He can kind of go into Asgard and pull in those resources when he needs to. At least until Asgard just got destroyed. But still, he has the Asgardians.
All right. That's his vote. We'll respect it. Should I go next, or do you want to go, Kevin?
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Well, you know what my answer is going to be. Of course, you can't say
No, we're talking about useful, not your favorite. You're confusing the two.
It is. He's most useful. Here's the deal, right? Captain America, obviously most useful. He has military training. They need a leader to bring them together. I mean, Tony tries to be a leader, but all Tony has is a bunch of cool gizmos that people wouldn't really know what to do with if it weren't for Captain America bringing them together. He has the plans. He's just a natural leader. Have you ever heard when he speaks, he can bring them all together and he can get them all on the same page? And his heart, man. Who has a better heart than Captain America? I mean, look, Tony Stark, for most of the series, all he cared about was himself. Of course, the end, he redeemed himself. But, I mean, Hawkeye had a pretty good heart, I guess. He's good, but he's not the leader that Captain America is. Black Panther maybe could rival Captain America's
he's dope, but he's not
valiantness.
I wouldn't say he's most useful.
But I think for the group, he's the one that brings them together the best, and he's able to get the best out of each one of them because he knows what their strengths are, he knows what their weaknesses are. He can bring them together and form the plans that need to be formed. Plus, he's just, super strong. And even though he didn't do it, he got Thanos to shed. He didn't do much, but he got a drop of blood to be shed by Thanos. And like you said earlier, you referred to, he can lift the hammer because he's just so pure. So patriotic and just a natural good leader. So you got to go Captain America. Got to go Captain America.
And I like how you said T'Challa is going to be. He's sort of like the secondary. I can foresee him being a leader as well now that Tony.
I think so. He has a little more together than Spider-Man. I know they're trying to make Spider-Man the leader, but Spider-Man's a little bit young still. Yeah. Black Panther, he's got similar traits as Captain America, and he does have the technology too, for sure. So he's kind of like Iron Man and Captain America combined, I guess. But anyways, I go for Cap.
All right, Kevin, who do you think is the most useful?
Well, first of all, let me bust this out that my favorite Avenger and absolutely the best Avenger is Ant-Man, but I'm not going to put him as most useful.
He is a very good one, yes.
So I would say overall the most useful is Captain Marvel, pretty much just because she can do basically anything. Like, if you think about it, and I thought about this, don't get me wrong, I liked the whole, end game and all that stuff, but when it boils down to it, if they would have just sent Captain Marvel back in time by herself to deal with Thanos, she could have done it. She didn't need everybody else. Like, there's that
That's
whole
true.
scene where, like, they have that girl power scene where Spider-Man's like, hey, you guys need help? Like, no, we got this. What they're really saying is, we're going to watch Captain Marvel do all the stuff that she can do because we really are useless at this point.
Yeah,
And
but think
you gotta
about it
give her
this
props.
way.
I mean, I know you guys don't necessarily like Captain Marvel, but she is
I
the
don't.
most powerful Avenger.
But when you think about it, though, like she cares more about going off with the shapeshifters and stuff. Like she came back, what, 5 minutes to get all the glory. She's useful, but does she even really care about the team yet? Maybe she will
No.
in the future,
But
Like,
but
we
right
gotta
now
think,
she's not really with them that much.
I get what you're saying, but you also got to think Captain Marvel. She's caring for not just Earth and its Avengers, but the galaxy as a whole. So
Well, like,
yeah, I mean,
The
like
Guardians
if
of
you're
the
dealing,
Galaxy are guarding the galaxy, though.
yeah. But what I'm saying is, she even says in the movie, she's like, hey, they're like, hey, why were you here? She's like, yeah, I've been kind of busy dealing with the same problem
True.
everywhere else in the universe.
That's true.
So clearly,
No.
like, she's got things going on. Like she's
So,
dealing with trying to help everyone,
I
not
have a
just
pretty
the
valid
Avengers.
point to make here. So, the Avengers, that's their name, right? But their subname is Earth's Mightiest Heroes. So, let's think about that for a moment. If
Well,
it's
she's
really-
from Earth, though, Steven.
Yeah, she is from Earth.
But
She's a
we're talking
human.
about Earth's Mightiest Heroes. We're not talking about like the universe mightiest heroes. Like,
Is Earth not part of the universe?
it is, but
Mhm.
I'm saying, like, if we're talking from definition of Earth's mightiest heroes. Of course, I guess my argument for Thor doesn't add up too. Then I
Yeah,
guess
he's
No,
a
it
god
doesn't.
of thunder
That
from a
cuts my
different
guy.
planet. So I see what you're saying. Captain Marvel is pretty useful. I think she, as the story goes on, she'll become more ingrained with the group, I guess. And she is the one. Nick Fury is kind of the architect of all of it, and he called her, and because he knew she'd be able to take care of business.
It's true.
So,
I'm
but
just saying, when it comes down to it, she is, well, except for Ant-Man, but I have a whole theory about that I'm not going to get into. Captain Marvel is the most powerful Avenger, therefore she's the most useful.
But
Doctor Strange has some powers too that
he
could
does.
technically make him the most powerful.
He
So-
can do that kind of stuff too.
But you're right. As far as strength and power, she probably is. I used to say Hulk, but I think at least the way the movies portray them, I think she could take down the Hulk. But
One thing important though, like with Captain Marvel, David mentioned with Captain America, he has the heart, and we just said Captain Marvel, she loves people, she wants to protect everyone, but the heart of the team, like, she doesn't bring them together in quite the same way that Captain
so I
America
guess
does.
she's useful. Like they're all useful. They just have to be brought together, which my boy Cap can do. So he's the most useful. We should all come up with an honorable mention, but we don't have to describe it quite as quickly. That way we can maybe combine the six of them together. So
We're
what
still
would
talking
you-
about terms of usefulness.
Yeah, we have to get to the useless, obviously, but let's have an honorable mention for useful. Steven, you might as well go first.
Okay. Honorable
Just-
mention.
If you had like a useful, like 1A,
Okay.
besides the ones we've mentioned.
I think I'd go back to Black Panther, honestly, because like not only is he a pretty good leader, but he has all that cool tech that is very useful. Like the whole world, and in a Black Panther, he's like, I'm not going to keep this to myself. It's useful. Let's give it to the whole world. So I think he'd be my second tier for sure.
That's a good point. Good point. Do you have a second one, Kevin?
Honestly, I'd probably say the Vision, just because he's so like connected with like like communication, because he came from Ultron, right? It was like all over the world internet, so it still kind of has that thing going on with the Vision. He's like super smart. That's a pretty useful trait. You want your smart dude.
He wouldn't exist without vibranium, though. Just pointing that out there. All right, David.
I don't know. It's kind of hard. I might have to go Doctor Strange because of his whole powers with time travel, but Ant-Man can do that same thing in Endgame that Doctor Strange can do pretty much. So one of those two, I think just that power is very useful. So maybe I would say probably Doctor Strange, but then again, Tony and Hulk, both of them, they have the intelligence, and Tony also has
Charisma.
the gadgets. I don't know, but just off the top of my head, I think, I don't know. I'll go Doctor Strange for now, just because of the time travel thing.
So
And he's just cool with that cape because it thinks on its own and stuff.
we've had a good discussion about useful Avengers.
All right.
So who are some of the they probably don't need them that much?
Who's going first for this one?
I don't want to be ruthless, but
So many picks.
Go, Steven.
All right, you know, let me start this one off. All right,
Yeah, you
because
go
I
for it.
have one in particular.
Throw
I
it
have to
down. Throw it
mention.
down. Throw it down.
So there's a lot of them that are contenders for this, but ultimately, I think the least useful altogether, I gotta go Falcon.
Falcon.
Did you say Falcon or Hawkeye?
Uh-oh. Oh,
Because-
sparks are about to fly.
Because look, man, everything he does, Tony Stark can do with his suit only better. Captain America can do only better.
This hurts.
So
man.
everything
This
that
hurts.
Falcon has going for him, other Avengers can do the exact same thing, only in a better way. He's just kind of like, you know, he's definitely your B team. I'm just saying, or not even
But-
that, probably like C or D.
See, the thing is, though, all right, I'll go with that a little bit. I just think he's cool because the whole military army thing and him and Captain have that
Well,
camaraderie.
yeah, but so does War Machine.
but
And
what
once
about
again,
going
War
in-
Machine can do the same thing, but better.
That's only because of the suit, though. But I guess that's all Falcon has too. But Falcon is gonna. Do you think he'll become more useful now that he's taken the shield, or like his powers won't get any more strength?
His powers won't get any better, but I mean, he'll have to.
I
come
think
to
he'll
his
have.
own as a leader.
I think he has those leadership traits. But I might have to. I just never thought Falcon because I like him, but I might have to agree with you on that. You
I
got
don't
a good
know.
point.
I think I have one that could beat Falcon. Let's be
All
real.
right, shoot.
The Winter Soldier, dude. I got a metal arm. That's all he's got going for him.
Dude,
like that's
Yeah, you get. That's,
does he
yeah,
not
but
have
he's-
the same? Does he
But
not
he
have
has
the
the same
serum?
serum as Captain America, so at least he's strong.
oh, that's true. That's true. Freddie had
But
to-
and he looks pretty sweet carrying that machine gun too. But you're right. He'd be one of the top in there, I think.
he's just that
But-
guy. Like he was really important in one movie, and then he's just like this guy in the rest of the movies.
Well, he'll be. They're saving him for the next generation too, probably.
Him
But
and Falcon, yeah. Him and
I
Falcon.
think his strength puts him a little more useful than Falcon right now. But if Falcon's leadership abilities increase,
Yeah.
then
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a debate there. I have a couple, and I really hate to do this because he's one of the originals, and I love him so much because he shoots a bow and arrow like a bad dude. But Hawkeye, what use does he have? He has a lot of heart. I'll give him that.
Yes.
But what use does he have?
Yeah,
He's
no,
a-
I totally agree. I'll agree with that too.
He's a plot point for.
I
Black
love
Widow.
him though, but yeah, well, Black Widow too. Sorry, but what usefulness does she have?
See, I thought about that one because I agree Black Widow isn't all that great, but she is useful for a couple reasons. Number one, she's like a expert in espionage, which is always a good thing to
That's
have.
true. That is true.
And two, when you think back to like the like Civil War and stuff, you know, she was able to control Hulk in a way that the other Avengers couldn't, and that's probably a
Oh,
good
man.
thing to have.
You think on this on a whole nother level that I need to work on. So yeah, I think so. And when you think about that, Hawkeye to some extent, then like he has that whole spy thing
He
going
does
on
have
too.
spy.
Still, all he really does is shoot a bow and arrow, but he does have kind of the same kind of background as Black Widow, just not really as much into the espionage, I guess, as at least in the movies, because they, paint that family thing for him, which is good too. But that I think maybe that gives him a few points as well. So yeah, I'll take Black Widow off the table. She's not one of the most useful, but she's definitely not the least useful.
Yeah.
Can
That's
you guys? There's still a few more though that you can think of that aren't very useful. I'm sure.
Well, one that
Let
comes
me-
to mind is Scarlet Witch for me. She's got mad power, but she doesn't use it. She just,
Yeah.
I mean, the only time
Dude.
she ever really used it, she killed a bunch of innocent people.
That's true.
But
No,
you
it's-
saw what she was. You saw how she was controlling the big guy though, man. When he had all those ring, he was trying
That's
to get this.
Yeah.
Like she could pretty much. She almost took him down, Thanos, in the
Sure.
last movie.
If we are going to include the more like the Guardians, if we're going to include them, Peter Quill, he's funny, he's hilarious, but he's just now that he like lost his like half god powers.
But did he really though?
That's
I
true.
think
That's,
I think they're
what we
gonna bring those back, man.
But right now he's just kind of like this dude that has like he's a funny person, but he's kind of like just there. I don't know.
Yeah, he was useful when he was doing thieving for Yondu, but
Yeah.
like because
But-
he had the small hands and stuff.
To be fair, the Guardians movies are some of my favorites because they're just so.
And let's take that back a little bit too, because let's go back to Infinity War.
Mhm.
Who was the one person who let Thanos was the result of Thanos surviving the Infinity War movie?
That's true. It's Peter Quill.
Peter Quill. That the gauntlet was about to come off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Spider-Man had that thing almost all the way off with I can't remember I think Doctor Strange and Iron Man were there too. They almost had it off, and it was coming off because Mantis was controlling.
Oh,
Mantis is a good
yeah.
one, by the way.
That's
Oh
a
yeah,
pretty
Mantis was controlling.
Mantis
Like,
also
she's
a useless
she's
character.
use, Mantis is not useless.
Yeah,
She's
dude.
controlling Thanos' mind, man, and they almost had the gauntlet, but here comes Peter Quill. Oh, you, and he just lost it because of his emotions.
Yeah.
It could
That's true.
Endgame didn't even have to happen if it weren't for him.
That's a fair point.
So, but you can't say Mantis is Mantis is useless. Dude,
Well, I mean, guess it depends. She's useful in very specific situations.
she's very weak physically. Obviously, she can't do much physically, but she kept that Peter Quill's dad. She kept him asleep all the time, so he wouldn't get too powerful.
That's true.
She kept Thanos asleep for a little while, controlled his mind.
True that. True that.
Yeah.
And I
like,
think in the movies, Drax is not very useful. Other
which
than
is
comic relief.
unfortunate. He should be. He's really
I
strong.
know he's like super strong in the comics, and I know he's really strong. They could have done so much more with him, but in the movie's not very useful.
No, that on the Rocket Raccoon, however, he's actually really useful, very resourceful, like engineering type, you know. But
And he has tiny raccoon
Yeah.
hands.
he's
And he's the only one who understands Groot also.
yeah. And Groot is
and
awesome.
Groot is essential. So I don't know. This is a trickier list though. Like what are our top three then?
Top three.
I'm gonna have to agree with Kevin, I think, and say Falcon, even though that's
I
hurting
know
me.
that it's humbling for you to say that.
But I think, like, I'm going to put a footnote on that because I think Falcon will get more important as the movies go on and TV shows or whatever they're doing now after this COVID thing's over. I think he will get more. But right now, yeah, he's pretty useless.
So I think our top three useless, if I'm hearing all of us correctly, would be Falcon currently, Winter Soldier, and Peter Quill. Is that?
I think Hawkeye's less useful
Yeah.
than Winter Soldier.
Yeah, true. All right.
I don't know.
Winter Soldier, but Hawkeye in there.
So far, I don't think Wasp has been that useful so far.
I
But
forgot all about her.
She hasn't done much yet, though, so you can't really say.
Yeah, though she will, because I mean she essentially has the same abilities as Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's true.
And
And
she's
she has
fun.
she has wings too.
Yeah. Which, by the way,
That
nother topic, though.
the Iron Man, whatever you call her, I don't know.
Pepper
Maybe
Potts.
yeah, I don't know about her either. But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm gonna say, speaking of, of course, my favorite of the Avengers in the movies, because I don't read the comic books, but I know he's a terrible person in the comic books, is Ant-Man.
Well, which Ant-Man? Hank Pym is a bad person. Scott Lang's a
Yeah.
good.
Well, I never really read the comic books. I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't. But Hank Pym is a terrible person. I know that. Scott Lang, I don't really know much about him in comics. But Ant-Man is my
Hank Pym
favorite.
originally was the Ant-Man, right?
Yeah.
He's the
Yeah,
one who
Hank Pym's
invented the
original
tech.
Ant-Man.
He's the one. Okay. In the movies, they didn't make him out to be a jerk, really. But
No, yeah,
Is he-
but in the comic books, he abuses his spouse and stuff.
Oh.
He's terrible.
Whoa, man, it's brutal.
The reason why I like Ant-Man, in my opinion, when it comes down to if you can pick one Avenger who could take out any of the other Avengers, I'd have to say Ant-Man.
You shrink down, go in their mouth, and just explode them.
he
No,
did.
not even that.
Hey,
Like-
speaking of your boy that you said earlier, he made Falcon totally useless when he got in his suit. So that's true. What was that movie? Which one was it?
Ant-Man?
Civil War was it?
No,
Where
that
he
was
made Falcon.
No, when he
Okay.
was in Falcon's suit.
Yeah,
he went
that
in
was
Falcon suit in
that
Ant-Man.
was.
He went in
and he-
Tony Stark's suit in Civil War.
So yeah, he took out Tony Stark because without his suit, Tony Stark's pretty useless too. But other than his intelligence. So you're right. Ant-Man can take out those two, and they become completely useless.
Well,
He can
because
get
I
giant.
would even argue take out Hawk. 'Cause you think about it, by the time the Endgame happens, Ant-Man's developed the ability where he can shrink down to a size smaller than an atom, right? So we're talking about he can shrink down to a molecular level. So if you were Ant-Man and you shrunk down to molecular level, down to, let's say, a group of proteins known as DNA, and just start wrecking some stuff, you can take out anybody.
That's true.
I might go with that, but I think I don't know. I think Hulk could still take him out when he's in his large form.
When he's in large form. But I mean,
Even
when
though
he's
he does
tiny,
get pretty
tiny,
big.
you go up into Hulk and just be start wrecking some DNA strands, and suddenly Hulk's like a blob of whatever.
That's an interesting thought. I never thought about going down that small, getting down on that
That's true.
DNA. Huh.
Ant-Man's a good one. I still think Ant-Man could do what Doctor Strange does though when he masters the.
But Doctor Strange always
When he
got
goes
that
in
quick
that-
getaway, though. He just does that cool circle
That's
thing. Whoosh, gone.
That's true.
um,
That's true.
in the Infinity War book, I guess I know Doctor Strange is one of the greater contenders with Thanos. He completely destroys Cyclops and Spider-Man and a whole bunch of other ones.
Well,
But,
Cyclops gets beat up by everybody, dude.
That's true.
Doesn't he?
I mean, we're talking about useless.
I like
powers.
him, but he gets destroyed by everybody. So
But,
he's got that leadership ability supposedly over the X, but he's not very.
yeah,
Seems like he gets
he's not
beat up
that
all
good.
the time.
Dude, I hate to be Cyclops. You can never open your eyes.
Yeah, dude.
You can if you wear your goggles, man.
Yeah,
Or
but
your
dude, man, you look like a
visor.
dork when you do that.
In the comics, he didn't look that dorky. In the
Those goggles
movies,
are pretty weird too. Oh yeah.
it does remind me of Geordi from Star Trek a lot. But I think Nick Fury, he's pretty useful, right? Like,
Yeah, dude. He cultivated the whole thing.
he's
the
the only
master.
one who came up with it. I mean, he's kind of a jerk sometimes, but he's pretty
Yeah, but I wouldn't
useful.
really consider him an Avenger because he's
Dude.
in charge of Shield, but he's not really an Avenger.
Dude. Okay. But all right. I don't know. I don't know about that. You might.
So- I just made this weird connection. Have you both seen the movie Unbreakable?
Yeah, but that's the only one in the trilogy I've seen.
Kevin,
But
have
go
you seen
ahead.
Unbreakable?
Yeah, I've seen. That's the same thing. That's the only one I've seen.
Mr.
had
Glass and Nick Fury are kind of the same guy. They're like going after heroes and bringing them together. I mean, Mr. Glass
That's a
is
good
evil,
point.
but like,
And you can break Mr. Glass's face by flicking him. But you're right. They're the same guy, and they're the
Same-
same.
yeah. Same motivation.
actor.
My mind's blown now.
Seriously, could Mace Windu come into this somehow too?
He did cultivate. He didn't really cultivate. He brought together some Jedi, I guess.
Some, but he
Mace
wasn't.
Windu is one of the most powerful Jedi ever. We'll have a whole. We can spend out.
We can do that another time.
Clearly, I'm the biggest Star Wars nerd out of the three of us. So don't even get me started on Star Wars right now.
But so, what is the final answer? Because this might be it for Zoom soon. I think.
All right.
I don't know.
All right, top
So we have
useful.
three categories. What were the useful ones we thought? The
So
top three
I
useful.
think my Thor's been kicked out. I agree with you. I think, as much as I hate to admit it, because I'm not the biggest fan, Captain Marvel's probably up there. And I see your argument with Captain America as well.
So
and
who's the third one?
I want to say Black Panther, but that's just because he's my tier.
He's useful.
Yeah, he has access.
I still say for me to be Vision, even though I don't like Vision.
And I would have to say, Kevin convinced me on Ant-Man a little bit, or Doctor Strange, one of those two. All right, so I don't want to be like, so we got Captain, we got Marvel, we got
We'll say
several for the third one.
Yeah,
All
several.
right.
They go bounce back and forth.
We'll go Black Panther, so each of us have a vote, I guess, if that's what you want. We'll do that. I like Black Panther. But so what are the most useless? Did we narrow that down?
We did. We decided Falcon, Hawkeye, and what was that third one? We just said it.
Falcon. Yeah, we had a discussion about Hawkeye, Falcon, and we said Peter Quill for a while, but I think was it
I think it was Peter Quill.
you said Winter Soldier was yours, but then
Winter Soldier.
So I think two of those are like my favorite ones too, but you're right. You're right. Oh, I guess I just like the more useless ones, I guess. But so you're
have heart.
but I'm gonna have to go the best Avenger. You got to give us your favorites too. Kevin said Ant-Man. I'm gonna have to go Captain, obviously. What about you, Steven?
Thor.
What do you
Probably
got? Thor. That would be a good squad, the three of them, though, don't you think?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That'd be a good squad. So Ant-Man was there. We'd had the leader. Ant-Man's kind of a jokester, but he has all the powers. Thor has that extraterrestrial super hammer thing. That'd be a good squad, I think. They could take down some stuff.
Pretty baller. I would dig it. I'd dig it.
And going back, I think Ant-Man could probably take out Thanos if you caught him off guard when Ant-Man was huge. Wouldn't you just have to step on Thanos?
Well, Ant-Man's power is kind of weird though if you think about it, because how it's described and what actually happens on film are different things.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's because, like, realistically, because the whole idea is that he has the same mass no matter what his size is, right? So realistically, if he really got to be like 50 feet long, 50 feet tall, he'd be like a balloon. He wouldn't be able to lift an airplane and stuff. He'd just float around, basically. And the same thing, when he gets the size of an ant, you're talking about 200 pounds of mass and the size of an ant. Like, he would probably just go through the earth and, like, melt in the core because of all that weight in such a small area.
I don't know if you go that far, but he would definitely be.
I'm just saying, you do have to take some liberties when it comes to
So
how
he wouldn't
they
really be
file
able
the
to do
style.
much. He could like sting you like a killer hornet probably and hurt you. But but that would be about it.
That's what I say. You got to take liberties in how he's actually portrayed and what his power in actuality, real science, would actually do.
We're gonna go just with movies for this discussion because that's what I.
Good,
that's
because in
what I
real
know
life,
about.
Ant-Man would be terrible. But in the movies, he's awesome.
And let's be real. Not a single one of us actually understands physics. So
Yeah, that's true. Yep, that's a true story. We're definitely not Bruce Banner, Tony Stark, or any of the above.
So kind of backtrack to how our discussion went. We all mentioned our favorite Avenger, but we didn't mention our least favorite.
oh yeah.
Oh, okay, real quick, we got time. I got to go last though, because
Okay.
I just love them all. I don't know. Go ahead.
My least favorite, huh? Ooh, that's hard.
I have mine already. Yeah.
Kevin, do you have yours? I need to think for a second.
My least favorite, honestly, Scarlet Witch. I don't know what it is. She just annoys me. I don't know.
They
But
should have given Quicksilver more in the movie. I think they could have brought him back.
A little
Anyways,
more. Yeah.
so Scarlet Witch, talking strictly movies anyways, you're going with Scarlet Witch.
I'm going with Scarlet Witch. I don't know what it is. She just irritates me. And I like Olivia Olsen. She's all right, but well, I mean, I've only seen her in that and Godzilla, so maybe I can't really say that.
You got to give her a credit though. Scarlet Witch can have a Russian accent, a really bad Russian accent, and then suddenly have an American accent, and it's all good. No one has any questions about it.
That's because no one's paying attention to her. No one cares about Scarlet Witch, except for the Vision, and we all know what happened to him.
I'm gonna have to go with. Go ahead. Sorry.
Is he really a man though? Isn't he like a cybernetic, like vibranium thing?
Well, it worked for her, whatever he was, I guess.
All right, my least favorite. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna say it. I'm not the biggest fan of Captain Marvel. I know you love her, Kevin, but I think she's cool, but I don't know her well enough yet. I think is what it is. But that being said, I like the movie, and I like that it's like she's a leader, but she's not.
That soundtrack in the movie was on point. Was on.
Well, yeah, for sure, no doubt, and it's a good movie. She's a cool character. She's just not my favorite.
I don't want to pile on, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Captain Marvel as well. Just she's very powerful, and I want her fighting in my battle if I have one. But movies wise, I haven't really latched onto her yet. I don't know. Scarlet Witch, not much either. So yeah, there's another one, I guess. But I would have to say Captain Marvel as well. I'm sorry.
I'm also not the biggest fan of Tony Stark. He's okay, but and he's essential. He's an essential character, but I don't think I'd like him if I met him in real life.
I kind of liked him more towards the end of the series.
True that. He softened up a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean that's just who Iron Man is too. But you're right, he wasn't my favorite ever.
Yeah,
I think of the original 6, he probably was my least favorite of the originals.
Yeah.
At the end of Endgame, after his funeral, when his daughter's all talking to Happy, and he's all like, "Oh, buy as many hamburgers," and I had a little tear, man.
That part was emotional.
Sweating from my eyes a little bit.
I just saw Far Away From Home, and I did get a little bit sad about Iron Man again when I was watching that movie. When I realized, how much the relationship with Spider-Man meant to Peter Parker, and yeah, I did get a little bit sad and happy, and so I miss him now. But he wasn't ever my favorite when he was around.
I don't think it's gets nearly as many props as he should as War Machine. Just throwing that out there.
He's pretty cool.
He is kind of useful too because he has the military background, and good friends with Tony, and he knows how to work with Tony very well. So yeah, he's a good dude.
My favorite memory of seeing the Avengers movies is when Tony Stark he's dying, and it's really sad, and Pepper Potts is like having that emotional connection with him, and my nephew says, "Pass me the chips," in the middle of the theater or whatever it was.
That was straight. That was pretty savage of him.
It was pretty awesome. It was pretty classic.
Where's the chips? So.
Well, this was a good chat, gentlemen. I'm excited for our podcast. I think we had a pretty good discussion. I just want to invite our listeners to whoever you are to we're just going to talk about nerdy things like this and try and
because we are a couple nerds, three nerds.
Yeah, 3 nerds, 3 brothers.
We would be like.
It's a good idea, though. I think I like this because, we're all on 3 different parts of the country.
Yes.
So it gives us an excuse to
That's true.
I don't know.
Hang out. We have the Midwest covered. And we have the southern, South covered, Southeast,
In
and
the
the
great state of Texas.
Texas. So Texas, Ohio, and Florida, 3 of the best COVID states in the country right now too. So,
So representing.
all right. Well, we'll try it again in the future, man. We'll keep it going.
Sounds good.
Keep listening. Hope you like what you hear. It'll get better as we go along.